we are working on Algebra 2.3 notes today. Yesterday was 2.2, which was two-step equations, and now we're bumping it up to more than 2 steps. These are going to be multi-step equations, much more than 2. So problem 1 says we're just combining like terms. What is the solutions of 5 equals 5m plus 23 plus 2m? So I'm still solving an equation, but I have some like terms in here. I'm looking and I'm seeing a 5m and a plus 2m. Remember, the symbol in front of your term always goes with it. So this is 5 plus 2. 5m plus 2m is 7m. For right now, I'm just going to bring everything else down. I'm going to bring down the minus 23. I'm going to bring down the 5 on the other side. And look what we've just done. Now we have a 2-step equation like we've had the other day. So we are going to look at our grouping, keep that together, and get rid of the minus 23 by doing plus 23 on both sides. Bring down your 7m. 5 plus 23 is 28. And then the last step, 7 is being multiplied by m, squished together, multiplied, so we are going to divide it by 7. Please be sure you're starting to use fractions for your division. It saves you time. Also, it helps you understand that a fraction is just a division problem. Something being multiplied by 7 and divided by 7 would cancel each other out, so it leaves m by itself, which is good news because that's when it means you're done. 28 divided by 7 is 4. All right. If you think you have that, there are actually 2 problems on the Got It this time. I'd love for you to push pause and try both of these on your own, and then push play and check your work. Okay, so the first thing I would have done is circled my like terms. In this case, it is 11m and minus 6m, or negative 6m, however you look at it. But if I'm reading it left to right, I don't even want to look at the negative 8 or the minus 8. In fact, pretend it's not even there. I'm going to cover it up. So as I'm looking at it from left to right, the 2 things circled are 11m minus 6m. So 11m minus 6m is 5m. Now I've got to bring down my minus 8 that I haven't used yet, and my equals 22. All right, guess what? It's a basic 2-step equation now. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. I'm going to bring down my 5m equals 30. I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And m equals 6. I went really fast, but hopefully that's because you were already done. All right, B. I see that I have a negative 2y and a plus 5y as like terms. So if I look at it from left to right, the 2 things I've circled, the 2 terms, negative 2y plus 5y equals 3y. I'm going to bring down my plus 5 that I haven't used in here yet, equals 14, and now I'm left with a 2-step basic equation. I'm going to subtract 5 next on both sides, cancel, cancel, bring down 3y. 14 minus 5 is 9. Last step, divide both sides by 3. Y equals 3. Okay, let's look at the next problem. It is a word problem, and it says Martha takes her niece and nephew to a concert. She buys t-shirts and bumper stickers for them. The bumper stickers cost $1 each. Martha's niece wants 1 shirt and 4 bumper stickers, and her nephew wants 2 shirts but no bumper stickers. If Martha's total is $67, what is the cost of 1 shirt? There is a lot of information in this problem. I like that we only have the cost of 2 different things because that's going to help us a lot. I also know the price of one of the things. The bumper stickers are $1. So every bumper sticker I can just call 1 because each one is $1. So what I don't know is the t-shirts. And in fact, that's the question. How much is 1 shirt? So I'm going to make the shirt my X. I don't know how much a shirt costs, but I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm going to start by writing the total is 67. So I'm going to write 67 equals because I know that's my grand total. I'm going to add up all the bumper stickers because those are $1 each, so that will be easy for me to calculate. So the niece wants 1 shirt and 4 bumper stickers. So there's 4 at $1 each, so that's just $4. And her nephew wants 2 shirts but 0 bumper stickers. So we don't need to add anything to that. So 4 is the number of dollars that we spent on bumper stickers, and 67 is our total. So 4 plus the t-shirts. I don't know how much a t-shirt costs, but I know how many I bought. The niece wants 1, and the nephew wants 2. So that is a grand total of 3 shirts. So 3x, because we don't know the cost of a shirt. All right, so I'm going to just simply solve this. This is a basic 2-step equation now that I've set it up that way. 4 is being added. I'm going to subtract 4 first on both sides. And then I'm going to see that 3 is being multiplied by x, so I'm going to divide by that 3 on both sides so that I can get x. 63 divided by 3 is 21. And remember what we were trying to solve? What does x represent? It represents the cost of 1 shirt. So $21 per shirt. All right, you have a word problem to try on the Got It. If you think you can set up an equation from a word problem and push pause and try it, I would encourage that. If not, I'll work it out with you as soon as I give you a chance to push pause. All right, Noah and Kate are shopping for new guitar strings in a music store. Noah buys 2 packs of strings. Kate buys 2 packs of strings and a music book. The book, we know, costs $16. Their total is $72, so how much is a pack of strings? So I'm going to start again by writing that their total cost was $16, so I know it equals 16. What 2 things are we adding that equal $16? Strings and music book. We know how much the book cost. It was $16. Oh, whoops, I messed up. The total cost was $72. Okay, I'm going to move on down. Sorry. The total cost is $72. We know that the book cost $16, but we don't know how many strings there were. So that's why I'm going to put the X there. That's the cost of the strings. But I know how many strings, don't I? Noah bought 2. Kate also bought 2. So 2 plus 2 more is a total of 4 strings. All right, now I've got it set up right. So now I can subtract the 16. 72 minus 16, I don't know, 56. And then on the right, I'm going to bring down that 4x. X is being multiplied by 4, so I'm going to divide both sides by 4. 56 divided by 4 is $14 per pack of strings. Okay. Problem 3 is using distribution. Okay, do you see this set of parentheses? We did a little bit of review over this distributing, and I know you've learned it before in 7th grade, but we've never put it all together in a big equation. So let's start by understanding that if you have parentheses in an equation, you have to get rid of them first. You can't do what's inside the parentheses because you can't subtract something that has an X from something that doesn't. These are not like terms, so you can't go ahead and do that. So instead, we have to move on to the only thing we can do, which is to distribute. So we're going to take -8 and multiply by 2x, and then also take -8 and multiply by -1. I know you guys think that's a -1, but a negative and a minus are the same thing. The term is associated with the symbol that's in front of it. If it's a minus in front of it, look at that as a negative. If it's a plus in front of it, look at this digit as a positive. Okay, so -8 times 2x is negative 16x. Negative 8 times negative 1, that is a negative times a negative, would be positive 8, equals 36. Bring down your 36. All right, now look what we've done. We've set us up with a two-step basic equation. We're going to keep this with the group and get rid of the plus 8 first by doing minus 8 on both sides. Bring down your negative 16x equals, what would that be, 28, I think? 36 minus 8. Oh, good, 28. Okay. And then the very last step is to look at what's happening to x. It's squished together with negative 16. It is not x subtracting 16. It is x multiplied by negative 16. So we do not want to add 16 to both sides. This is not a subtraction problem. It is a negative 16 multiplied by x, so we want to divide by negative 16 on both sides. So x equals, I don't think that's going to come out evenly, but that's okay. We can have a decimal answer. 28 divided by negative 16 is negative 1.75. That's why we're using calculators this year and from now on. Okay, if you think you have that with the distributive property, go ahead and pause the video and try this one. If you're not quite ready to try it on your own, here we go. You should distribute the 3 to everything inside the set of parentheses that it's squished up against, which means multiply, which is why distributive is multiplying. 3 times 2x, 6x. 3 times negative 6, that is a negative 6, even though it's also a minus 6. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18, which is also why it looks like minus 18. That's the same thing. Equals this 18 over here. All right, I want to keep 6x together and get rid of the minus 18, so I'm going to add 18 first. I'm going to bring down 6x. 18 plus 18 is 36. Last step, divide both sides by 6. X equals 6. And again, go plug it in. If you're not sure, plug in 6 for x. If you did all this work and you're like, I just don't know if that looks right. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. 6 times 3, remember it's squished to the out here, times 3 is 18. So we did do it right. All right, let's look at this next page. Problem 5 is something that has decimals. I'm not scared of decimals, and you shouldn't be anymore either, because we're using a calculator. So we're going to keep this grouped x and this negative 0.02 together, and instead first we're going to get rid of this 3.5. 3.5 is subtracting this. So normally I bet you would think, oh, we're going to add, but that's not how to get rid of 3.5. If I were to add 3.5, in fact, let me just show you. If I were to add 3.5, would it cancel out? Would it be 0? 3.5 plus 3.5, is that 0? It's not. That's 7. So we don't want to add, even though you may have thought we need to. We need to get rid of 3.5 by canceling it out, which means it goes to 0. And the only way to cancel out a positive number is by subtracting it. So we're going to subtract 3.5 on both sides. And now 3.5 minus 3.5 will cancel out, because that means it will be 0. All right, on the right, 1.24 minus 3.5. 1.24 minus 3.5 is negative 2.26. Negative 2.26. Okay, let's be really careful about what we bring down from over here. If you brought down 0.02x, you're wrong. You should have brought down this minus, which technically is a negative, with it. If there is a minus or a negative in front of it, it has to be a part of this term. So this should be negative 0.02x. All right, remember what's happening to it. It's not being subtracted. x is being squished up against negative 0.02, so it's being multiplied. So you are going to divide by negative 0.02 in order to get it to cancel. You need to also do that on the other side, because what you do to one side, you also do to the other. Now it leaves x by itself, and I have absolutely no idea what that is, so I'm going to use my calculator. Negative 2.26 divided by negative 0.02. Oops, messed that one up. 0.02. 113. So x equals 113. Okay, if you're ready to try one of those, push pause and try the got it. If not, I'll work it out with you. All right, here we go. Keep this with its grouping. We're going to get rid of the minus or negative 2.325 by adding it. 2.325 on both sides. On the left, it cancels and goes away because it would be 0. A negative 2.325 and a positive 2.325 would cancel each other out, and it leaves 0.5x. On the right, 3.95 plus 2.325, I don't know what that is. So here we go, 3.95 plus 2.325 equals, it's a lot of numbers, 6.275. 6.275, and then our last step, x is being multiplied by 0.5, so we are going to divide by 0.5 on both sides. Yay, it's still on my screen. 6.275, I'm just going to click now, divided by 0.5. And it is 12.55. So 12.55. All right, I'm going to go a little quicker through the lesson check because this is something that I really want you to kind of try on your own. It's now that the lesson is over, there are some more practice problems for you to try, but on the video, I will go through them all with you. So, but just a little bit quicker. So number 1, 7p plus 8p minus 12 equals 59. Remember, like terms can go ahead and be added or subtracted, whatever it says. It says 7p plus 8p, so 7 plus 8 is 15p. I'm going to bring everything else straight down. So I'm going to bring down minus 12 equals 59. And now it's a basic two-step equation where I add 12 on both sides, bring down 15p, 59 plus 12 is 71. And the last step is I'm going to divide both sides by 15. That is definitely not going to come out evenly, but again, that's why we use calculators. Divide by 15. Oh, okay. Did I do it right? Minus 12 equals 59, 8, 14, 15. Yeah, so it's just a weird answer. So we're going to say about 4.73. And so I'm going to change my equals to a little bit of a squiggly equals because that would be about 4.73. It means we rounded it. Okay, number 2 is negative 2 times the quantity 3x plus 9 equals 24. So what you're going to do is you're going to distribute. Anytime you have parentheses, you want to get rid of them by distributing. So we are going to say negative 2 times 3x, which would be negative 6x. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. So it's going to look like minus 18, but that's the same thing as a negative 18. Equals 24. Now we're down to a basic two-step equation. Keep this guy grouped together and get rid of the minus 18 first by doing plus 18 on both sides. Negative 6x gets brought down. 24 plus 18 is 42. And the last step, we are not subtracting 6, we are squishing it against x, which means multiplying it. So therefore, we need to divide by -6 on both sides. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. If you're not sure, use your calculator. 42 divided by 6 is 7. All right, number 3, I'm going to let you guys skip. We did not do the ones with double fractions where you come up with common denominators. It's not that difficult, but we didn't actually learn it, so I'm not going to make you practice it. There's some decimals we need to practice. So let's skip to number 4. It is 1.2 equals 2.4 minus 0.6x. All right. Leave the minus 0.6x together and get rid of the 2.4. Are we going to add it or subtract it to get it to go to 0? It looks like you want to add it because there's a subtract, so adding would be the opposite, but think it through. 2.4 plus another 2.4 would not be 0. We would not be able to cancel it. So you should say subtract it. If you subtract it, it does go to 0. 2.4 minus 2.4 is 0. It does cancel out. So we want to do 1.2 minus 2.4. And that is negative 1.2. On the right, you need to bring down the entire term and its symbol in front. So negative 0.6x. All right, and then the last step, x is being multiplied by negative 0.6. So I want to divide by negative 0.6 on both sides. Cancel, cancel. Negative 1.2 divided by negative 0.6 is 2. All right, number 5 is a word problem. It says gardening. There is a 12-foot fence on one side of a rectangular garden. I'm a visual person, so I'm going to have to draw this out. So they said there's a rectangular garden. Okay, it says 12 feet on one side. The gardener has 44 feet of fencing to include the other 3. What length is the longer dimension? So that must mean 12 feet is the shorter dimension. So I'm going to put the 12 on the shorter side. If it's a rectangle, we know that this side must also be 12. So we don't know this side, and we also don't know this side, but in a rectangle, these would be the same length. So I'm going to use x for both of them because they are like terms, because they would have to be the same letter representing the same number. All right, we do know the grand total though. He has 44, he has 44 left. So if we have 44 left for the other 3, then all 4 sides combined would be 44 plus 12. So 44 plus 12 is 56. So I'm going to put that the grand total is 56. And it equals 12 plus x plus 12 plus x. So, or you could go in any order. You could do 12 plus 12 plus x. It doesn't matter, but we know that all 4 sides equals a total of 56. So if I combine these two, 12 plus 12 is 24. And if I combine these two, x plus x, by the way, that's a hidden invisible 1. So 1x plus 1x is plus 2x. So we know that the entire rectangle has 56 feet of fencing, and 24 makes up these two. So I'm going to subtract that 24 from both sides, and it leaves 2 of the x's, which have to be 32 feet. So I'm going to divide each side by 2. I'm running completely out of room here, but x would be equal to 32 divided by 2, which is 16. I would definitely check each one of those. So 12 plus 16 plus 12 plus 16 does equal 56. Let's say you want to take out that 12 and answer the question the way it said he had 44 feet left. 16 plus 12 plus 16 does equal 44. 16 plus 12 plus 16 is our 44. All right, moving on to number 6 and 7. These are our last two. So number 6 is 1.3 plus 0.5x equals negative 3.41. All right, so we want to keep the x, the variable, and the number together and get rid of the 1.3. So we are going to subtract 1.3 on both sides. I'm not scared of decimals because we're using our calculator, otherwise I would be. Bring down 0.5x. On this side, this is going to be a greater negative. It's going to be like negative 4 point something. So let's check with your calculator. Negative 3.41 minus 1.3. And that equals negative 4.71. Negative 4.71. All right, and then the last step, x is being multiplied by 0.05, so we're going to divide by 0.05 on both sides. It's still in my calculator, yay, so I'm just going to type divided by 0.5, negative 9.42. All right, and then the very last problem, number 7, looks like it's another distributive property one. 7 times the quantity 3x minus 4. 7 times 3x minus 4 equals 49. All right, that's a 9. Whoops. All right, we need to distribute. So 7 times 3x is 21x. 7 times negative 4, remember that's a negative 4, even though it looks like a minus 4, that's the same thing. 7 times negative 4 is negative 28 equals 49. All right, yay, it's a basic two-step equation. We can do this. We're going to add 28 on both sides now. 21x equals whatever 49 plus 28 is. 77. All right, and then the very last step, 21 is being multiplied by x, so we are going to divide by 21 on both sides. 77 divided by 21 does not come out evenly, so we're going to round it again. About 3.67 or 3.6, yeah, it'll be 3.67 about. So I'm going to change this to, instead of equals, I'm going to say it's about, because we're rounding it. That fancy squiggly equals just means about 3.67.